And apparently they're really mad that they're not on that When We Were Young festival lineup. Have you seen people pissing and moaning about the When We Were Young festival?
Oh, yeah. They're from every angle.
Every angle, yes.
Like whether it's a band that's left off or they're like, it's too many bands for one day. It's too expensive. It's
the article I saw said,
commercial.
Millennial Live Nation, how dare you also give me that pre-sale link. When I saw this a few days ago, a friend of mine had posted something. I thought it was a meme. I thought it was a graphic somebody had made of like, here's my fantasy show of early aughts emo bands. I didn't realize it was a real festival.
It's real.
It's real. It's going on in San Francisco, I think. I'm sorry, Las Vegas in October. And it's called the When We Were Young Festival. And listen, every generation eventually gets old enough for their nostalgia to be commodified and packaged. And that's what this is. And so there's probably a certain degree of millennials going, well, this is when I was young and with it and whatever. But this festival, first of all, I'm really surprised there's no Fall Out Boy on this thing because they got every other goddamn band in this thing. My Chemical Romance, who've been off the grid for a minute, and Paramore are the big headliners. And then a whole lot of other bands that people will remember and know and love from that time. AFI and Taking Back Sunday, and So if you were coming of age in the mid-aughts, this is for you. Avril Lavigne, back on the road. I guess that's a big deal. She was a surprise guest at our Alter Ego Festival.
Yeah, because she hasn't done a lot in the past 5 or 6 years.
No, she was, for a while, she was spending all her time having sex with Chad Kroeger and then got off that train. So
they broke up?
They divorced a while ago.
Okay, I don't know anything.
There are a couple of bands on here that Alkaline Trio, like them. A band called Armor for Sleep was a rare band like that I kind of dug. I hadn't heard that name in 100 years, and then they're on this bill. And Bright Eyes and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they're taking their hits from every direction. And I'm not quite sure why.
People have opinions about things.
The Linda Lindas are on this. Yeah, that's okay. But the band I just played for you, this band called I Set My Friends on Fire, were really mad. It's a great PR for them, I guess. But they're like, hey, why aren't we on this bill? They even bought the URL whenwewereyoungfest.com, which somehow was still available, and said that they would give it up if they got added to the bill. They already have whenwewereyoungfestival.com. That's the official whatever. But that little clip I played for you, that's awful. Now, there are all kinds of bands on this bill that if you don't like that music, it's awful. Yes.
It sounds a lot like all these other bands.
True. If whatever genre of music you're into, you're probably into a lot of bands that sound similar. Like I'm a metal guy. I admittedly listen to a lot of bands that to the untrained ear sound exactly alike. But to me, I go, oh, that's this is X, this is Y, this is Z.
Now, with Pierce the Veil, is Pierce a guy?
Yes.
He's Pierce the Veil?
Pierce DeVeil. It's D''Veil. Yes. Pierce.
I like how many there are that are, like, they rhyme. There's Pierce the Veil and I Prevail.
Yeah, right.
There's
one's from the West Coast, one's from the Midwest. I think I Prevail is a Detroit band. So, I Set My Friends on Fire. Listen, To Wit. They're just they describe themselves as an experimental rock band from Miami.
There's so many I forgot this was a band like Thursday. Completely forgot about them.
Sleeping with Sirens, like all these kinds of,
And I love me some Jimmy Eat World.
And some of them go way back, and some of them don't go that far. I mean, it's essentially like a 2-day Warped Tour, right?
It's one day though.
Oh, it's one day.
Yeah,
oh.
That's the biggest complaint that I saw, where people.
Well, they all going to play 5 minutes?
I guess. I mean, they're going to play all their hit songs.
Here's one you guys might remember. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm Chris Carrabba, and I'm still complaining.
Vindicated.
Yeah, but this I Set My Friends on Fire. I'll just read you what they've written. The group blends elements from a variety of genres, using the term loosely, including crunkcore, post-hardcore, metalcore, electronicore, screamo, mathcore, dance pop. So they work on their core a lot, this band.
Yeah, it's important to work on your core.
There you go.
Got to have a strong core.
So
the Marine Corps wants you to work on your core.
So millennials they've got a couple of things to say. Now, see, I'm a Gen Xer. I want to go to the Cruel World Festival that's happening in May at the Hollywood Bowl. That's the one I'm interested in because that's my generation.
That's the 80s emo bands.
It's Morrissey and Bauhaus and Blondie and Devo. And yes, that's right. Psych Furs.
The new
and
wave stuff.
PIL. Yeah, that's right. But
I'm caught in between these. Because there's some bands that I like from this, but I like a lot of those bands too. So I'd like a mix of both.
Well, you got California in May and you got Vegas in October.
I know, but I want some of those bands to play at a festival and some of these, like I don't want to go to both.
Oh, I see.
I want them all to come together so I can have my 80s and then like my early teens and late teens basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you want everybody to come together and say, hey. Yeah.
Hey.
So there are, if you're into that, there are some good bands on there. I didn't even know Dance Gavin Dance was a band anymore. I thought they split up a while ago.
Or the red jumpsuit
apparatus. Face down in the dirt. Wasn't that them?
Yeah.
Face down? Yeah. And there's some bad bands on here too. Ice Nine Kills, they stink. But whatever. It's something for everybody is my point. You know, Knocked Loose, great band. Neck Deep, great band. Bring Me the Horizon.
I call them Go Get the Sunset. Because I took my daughter to see them at, what was the...
Warped Tour?
Not the Warped Tour, the one that was at the soccer stadium.
Oh, God.
Not Sonic Temple, before that.
Oh,
I can't remember what it's called.
It was
Rock on the Range.
Rock on the Range.
Yeah, so they were on the main stage at Rock on the Range, and she was pumped to see them. And I'm like, is this that band that you want to see? Go Get the Sunset? And she's like, that's not what they're called. And I'm like, saying it
so
loud
fun getting people mad about bands they like.
And she was like in that prime age. I think she was 15 or 16 at the time.
Taking it very seriously.
She's like, that's not what they're called. Stop calling them that.
That's
she's
right.
Like, it's embarrassing.
Yep.
And then we met them. I got a picture with them. And
did you call him Go Get Me the Sunset?
Of course I did. Right to his face. He laughed. He thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And because he saw the look on her face.
Right.
So like it was.
And she was mortified.
Of course.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that it was a traumatic experience.
When my daughter told me she wanted to see Go Get Me the Sunset, I could not get tickets fast enough. Poundcake's very excited that My Chem is on this. My Chemical Romance.
Oh, that's one of his.
There you go. My Chemical Romance through the blazing fast mind of Poundcake. You going to go to the show, Poundcake? You excited to see them?
I was on the phone. You guys are discussing a big concert tour?
Yes. Well,
It's
one big show.
It's one big show.
Yeah.
It's the When We Were Young Fest, where it's all like those emo bands from the.
So that's real?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was because I saw it trending.
That's exactly what I said. I thought somebody had made like their
they
fantasy.
Do it all the, they do it all the time.
That was decoupage that somebody had put online.
Because there was one going around not too long ago where it was like all the stuff that Mary and I listened to growing up. Like it was R&B fest. It was like all of like the number one R&Bs of like the 90s and 2000s.
Right. And like a mixtape festival.
We put it together. I'm like, dude, how are they going to pay these people? Like, you're talking like nearly 50 to 100 R&B groups. They ain't going to go for $1,000 each.
No. These are bands that go out and they do make money on merch.
So
they're not going to pay these bands that much. So maybe My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, like the headliners will make, but the others are just, like you said, they'll get it.
See, when you
some money and then they make a bunch of money on merch, and
you should go, Bill, and then get a meet and greet with Gerard Way and refer to them as My Prescription Courtship or something like that. My daughter's way into you. Here's my daughter, Cody.
Yeah, see, they're
Excuse you. Oh, I hate you sometimes. You just slide it in there.
You're the one singing MCR right there.
My daughter, Cody.
You love them.
Hey, you finally got a dad.
That's right. Yep. Welcome to the Brown Parade is what he calls this song.
And listen,
Oh, it's so
I know
silly.
I'm not your real dad, but I'm here for you if you need me. And you don't have to call me dad. You can call me Pops, Papa, Father.
Padre.
Not Daddy.
Papa Emeritus.
Great. Let me borrow some money, Dad.
Yeah, okay. How much?
Get a
you need?
job.
Yeah, get a job, son.
A real one. Enough with this radio dream that you have.
That's
it's
right.
obviously not working out. 5 years, and the only raise you got was mandated by the state. It's time to
You need a backup plan.
Yeah, you need to just move on.
You need to go to graduate school or something.
No one's
Get that English degree you've been coveting. Anne Berlin. Remember Anne Berlin? Jesus, the starting line. Yeah, so there's whatever.
Oh, starting line. I remember. I love them.
So, wow, this is real. So it's going to be Paramore, My Chemical Romance. I don't think Fall Out Boy was on that, but it was like really cool. Because
I did remember.
Hot Topic was born from this type of festival. I remember I walked around.
Your version of Hot Topic was born from this. This is what made Hot Topic. This is like made Hot Topic into a music store. Was this kind of stuff, because it was just more of a nostalgia store, and then once all this emo stuff started happening and they were selling jewelry and stuff, then it became a whole different
it was all scene kids going to Hot Topic, because late 80s is when they opened, and it was
they need to update their MySpace profiles, and they need the eyeliner and
that's right,
the T-shirt, the band T-shirt, all that stuff.
Yeah,
bracelets,
skinny jeans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a shirt that had tattoos on the sleeve, so when you put it on, it looks like you have sleeves.
No. You
All
got
right.
the sleeve tattoo shirt.
How old were you when you got that? That's amazing. Do you still have it?
But weren't they white arms?
It's like
it
nylon basically, right?
It's like mesh.
Yeah.
So it's kind of see-through.
So it blends in with your
it was
skin.
like pantyhose material.
Oh no!
Listen, I'm
listening.
6th grade.
Yeah.
So I get a pass.
Yeah, okay.
No,
it's young enough to still.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was 6th grade, and I thought it was the coolest. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Jesus Christ!
Of course you did.
Yeah, because my friend, I had a Mexican friend, and she was into like AFI and like all the really hardcore band, System of a Down. That's where I learned all of my favorite songs. Mm-hmm. And she was like, "We need to go to this concert. You need to like step up your game." I'm like, "All right." Well, I went and got some iron-on patches. Got some iron-on patches, and I went and got that shirt, and I got some bracelets with the little cuffs on them, like like a spear or whatever on it.
Yeah, I love when a kid decides to go into that,
I went gothic.
That emo or goth phase or punk phase, because nobody ever goes gradually. You have to jump in all at once, and you have to act like you've always been there.
Oh.
And I remember doing a similar thing in high school where I was wearing a Pennywise shirt, and like I dyed my hair black, and I went and sat down at the usual place I'd sit during the study hall, and like everybody was staring at me. They're like, "What's going on, Bill? You weren't dressed like this yesterday." And I was like, "Just who I am." And they're like,
I'm new Bill.
Bro.
Yeah.
I was in orchestra at that time, okay? So this is a little gothic black kid in orchestra playing viola, and my orchestra teacher, I still love her to this day. I walked in, and she's like, "Unique Jesus." I was like, "What?" She's like, "You know what Gothic is, right? Gothic means you don't have no heart, no love in your heart for God." She was like, "If that's what you want, fine, I support you." But
I'm sure all the OG Gothic composers would be pleased to hear that.
It was funny.
Uh-huh.
She said, "Ugh."
Alan, Bill calls them "Fetch Me the Sunset" because that's what I call them now, is "Fetch Me the Sunset." Is that what you said?
Go get the sunset.
Go get. I got to give you some money here. Let's fetch you $1,000, shall we? It's a chance for you to go fund yourself. Listen closely and good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword WIN at WMMS.com. That's WIN. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
Alan, going to the Brown Parade will be my bathroom euphemism from now on. There you go. Where's your dad? He's going to the Brown Parade right now.
He will carry on.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Well, because a couple people sent me back home in Illinois, in Springfield, Illinois, which is the capital of the state. Downstate. It's closer to St. Louis than Chicago. but they are opening a Gen X museum. And they are asking people of that generation for items. A dedicated Gen X exhibit at the Illinois State Museum. So I'm sure people will be sending like their Walkmans and tapes and Anybody born between 1965 and 1980, they were the last generation to have an analog childhood. Yeah, because Gwen's 10 years younger than me, but we both she got in by the skin of her teeth. We're both in there.
Yeah, I'm like on that cusp because I'm 82, so I had mostly analog, but the computer showed up when I was in high school with like the internet, and that was a game changer. I'm
going to ship them, speaking of which, I've decided I'm going to ship them this giant box I found of E.T. video game cartridges in a landfill that I understand are completely...
very analog.
They're very analog. They have no value whatsoever, so I'm going to ship those off to them. And I'll send them my old collection of slap bracelets, a couple of old Trapper Keepers. So, they'll, my silence equals death t-shirt. So the Gen X Museum opening up out there in Springfield, Illinois, which, of course, if you've ever been to Springfield, not much going on there.
What color folder did you use for math? Because I feel like there's a meme going around that I saw the other day. It's like, and it's kind of a consensus thing where everybody used the same folder or same notebook color for math. Now, I was the kid that I'd buy one notebook at the beginning of the year and then just borrow pieces of paper the rest of the year. Like once that thing was filled up, you
would borrow paper from people.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get a pack of loose leaf at the beginning of the year.
Oh, I would, but then it'd be like once it was gone, or I wouldn't.
Oh, you'd blow through it.
Yeah, I'd either blow through it or I'd just doodle on it and not use it for anything. So that's part of the reason I hate paper so much, is because then you have to organize it, and I'm not an organized person.
Right.
So then you just got like this backpack full of all these papers, and they're like, why don't you put it in folders? I'm like, I don't know where my folders are. That's why. So if you want to get me some, I'm not going to get any more. So I'm just not going to do it. Or I was also...
So was your Trapper Keeper not keeping things?
My Trapper Keeper was...
It wasn't trapping or keeping anything?
Just... I didn't even really use a Trapper Keeper.
Huh.
I didn't have any of these organizational skills. So like I'd try it one year, but then it'd just be like...
Were you a kid who was just walking around with like papers coming out of your
usually I'd fold
pockets?
Up, the things... Usually what I'd do is I'd fold up the paper and put it in the book. I'm like, that makes the most sense to me because I need the book.
Like a bookmark.
But then teachers would be like, oh, I don't want this folded, or it looks all ratty. you don't write your name in the right place, because every teacher had a different system of like where you're supposed to write your name and stuff like that. I'm like, who cares?
So your papers are all like torn out of the spiral notebooks.
Oh,
and they're raggedy. Yeah, that's funny. See, I was the exact. This might surprise you to know. I was the exact opposite. I was the kid with the hole punch and the hole reinforcement stickers.
If I were to show up to class, and this is like high school when I was really just done with the whole thing. If I were to show up to class with a pen and paper on the same day, my teacher would be thrilled. Because they're like, oh my God, you have both the things you need.
Bill, you get an automatic A.
Oh, I wish. They'd just be like, yeah, you can at least participate in class today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hated school so much.
I loved it.
You got to carry everything around. Like, why can't I just leave it in the class?
What didn't you like about school? Oh, all of the carrying around, of carrying on. And...
It just makes more sense to take, like, if I'm going to have this book, leave it in the class. That's when I use this book. I don't use it any other time. I'm not going to do homework. I'm not going to do any work outside of the class. That was my rule.
You're like, I like to keep my work life at work.
Yeah.
I like to keep work at work.
I keep school at school. Yep. I keep home at home.
You were an early adopter of the work-life balance, is what you're saying.
You get boundaries. It's about boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And they were always trying to cross those boundaries, and I was trying to lay them back down, and then some, because I was trying to make school more like home.
They were trying to bring school into the home, but I'll bet you what, if you had tried to bring home into the school, they wouldn't have liked that.
Oh, yeah. When I brought a pillow to class, they're like, you can't do this.
Right.
You can't just bring a pillow to class. I was like, well.
Yeah, you want me to bring textbooks home?
Yeah.
That's right.
I've got to hook up my Nintendo 64.
Somebody get the AV cart in here. I got a break. You want to get a text for anything? 35192 to do that. A couple more chances for you to win $1,000. 5:30 is going to be that next keyword. We'll do it again 6:30. Listen wherever you are throughout North America. In fact, on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox